Desdemona Fullmer, sealed July 1843. On October 6, 1809, Desdemona was born to Peter Fullmer and Susanna Zerfus Fullmer in Huntington, Pennsylvania. The Fullmer family settled south of Cleveland, Ohio in 1835, and Desdemona was converted and baptized 2 years later. Desdemona moved to Nauvoo, and according to the Nauvoo Fourth Ward records, she was living in Joseph Smith's home in the spring of 1842. At that time, Joseph Smith taught Desdemona Fullmer about plural marriage. Desdemona Fullmer married Joseph Smith in July 1843. She gave this brief account. "Having been convinced of the truth of polygamy, I therefore entered into the order, but I dared not make it known, not even to my parents, for I was forbidden by the prophet, for it would endanger the life of Joseph and also many of the saints." She also reported a night vision in which an angel told her that the polygamy doctrine was true. Desdemona remembered Hiram expressed his suspicions. "After I moved out of Brother Joseph's house, Sister Hiram Smith wanted me to come for the winter with her to work tailoring, as that was a trade, and while I was living at their house, Hiram had by some way learned something about polygamy. So one evening while the family of us were sitting around the fire, he said to me, 'I will ask you a fair question. Will you answer me?' 'Yes, sir,' I replied. Brother Hiram said, 'Supposing Brother Joseph would say to you that he had a revelation from God that it was right for him to have another wife besides Emma, would you believe it was of God?' Perhaps caught off guard by Hiram's direct methods, Desdemona quickly recovered by asking Hiram if he believed Joseph Smith was a prophet. He answered yes. Then she gave her opinion that since Joseph is a prophet, she cannot pick and choose which revelations she will believe. There the conversation ended. The next morning, Hiram made mention of the subject in the following words. Said he, "If I knew that any, or thought that any woman in this house believed in such doctrine as polygamy, I would kick them 40 rods from this house and follow them and kick them still further." Soon after that, I made tracks, not feeling it safe to stay there any longer, and went to another place to live, and while living there a few weeks. On May 26, 1843, William Clayton recorded, "Hiram received the doctrine of priesthood." Shortly after his change of heart, Hiram returned to Desdemona, whom he had earlier threatened. Afterwards, brothers Joseph and Hiram came along and called there, and Brother Hiram wanted to talk with me and said, "Do you remember how I talked when you were at my home?" "Yes, sir, I do." He said, "Now I have come to make it right with you. I hurt your feelings. I ask your forgiveness, and where I have said anything against the doctrine of polygamy in public or in private, I must take it all back, for the Lord has shown unto me that I was wrong, and that Joseph was right." Then Hiram preached to me and exhorted me much, and said that I had done God's service, and for me to hold on to the faith that was taught me by Joseph, and much more he said to me on the subject that I cannot write. Possibly reflecting the biases of Utah church leaders against Emma Smith, Desdemona penned on June 7, 1868, "In the rise of polygamy, I was warned in a dream Emma was going to poison me. I told my dream to Brother Joseph. He told me it was true. She would do it if she could." Desdemona migrated to Utah with the Saints and died in 1886, a lifelong member.